No, like most professionals, I don't have intros. I just go straight into it and start talking. And well, actually, you know what? I should, huh?
Just don't do the YouTube thing. It was like, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Badass Crew. It just seems disingenuous.
There are some of them that do that are really pain in the ass. But there is one that I love the way he does it.
Who's that?
Brandon Herrera.
Oh, how does he do it?
What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers?
That's pretty good. I like Philip DeFranco's, what's up, you beautiful bastards? I like being called a beautiful bastard. It feels good.
And, I mean, I like it. I do. Beth and I, we emulated Brandon Herrera the other day, who I'm sad to say lost his bid for Senate.
Bummer.
Yes. The RNC is the party that never disappoints to disappoint. Rather than elect somebody that would get stuff done and protect our constitutionally protected God-given natural rights that were enshrined in the Constitution for us to enjoy, they instead threw millions of dollars, $10 million in fact, to make sure that the incumbent rhino that will sit there, shut up, do what he's told, and take orders and vote how he's told to vote. Tony, whatever his face is. Yes, the RNC never disappoints to disappoint.
But I don't want to get into politics. What I want to get into is...
Well, first, tell the lovely folks who you are.
Hi, everyone.
Who are you and why are you in my studio?
I am Jay, and today I am here to talk a little bit about Vikings, although my knowledge on Vikings is very limited.
That's okay. We really don't actually have to talk about Vikings because I don't know much either. I know enough to know that Viking is actually an adjective or a verb. That was not like a title.
Really?
Yeah. Viking was actually like when they were actually doing it. That's like an adjective. The title was Vikinger.
Vikinger.
Yes.
I have learned something today.
Yeah.
All right.
And I do know that the Viking expansion is kind of a weird thing in history. Nobody told them to do it. They just did it.
I mean, sounds about right. I mean, I guess maybe one day they were just sitting there chugging on some mead and decided, you know what?
Boys,
cool.
It's like, yeah, I mean, you're just sitting there and, I don't know, what would become Finland, and you decide, boys, get in the boat. We're going to Constantinople.
Why? Shut up. Let's go.
Get in the boat. Get in the river. We're going.
No questions. We gotta go. Get in, losers. We're going Viking.
Isn't that like 1,000 miles away? Yes. They will sing songs to our journey.
Get in, losers. We're going Viking.
All right, I'm in. And they did. I mean, can you imagine just sailing down? I think it's the Danube. There's the Volga, the Bug, and the Danube, which are three major rivers in today's East Europe.
Okay.
And they just sort of got in their boats and made their way there. All the way down to what is today Turkey. From Finland to Turkey. Or from Norway to Turkey. It's a goddamn long boat ride.
That is.
Especially since it's air-powered and man-powered.
That's all they needed back then. They had the muscle. They were built different back then.
They were definitely built different. They ate a lot of meat.
Only the strong survived. Yes. Real Viking power. But let's rewind a little bit. Because no good story ever starts with a glass of milk. Their story started with a mug of mead.
Yes.
Yes. Now, I do have a friend, a coworker at work that makes mead. It's his special craft, and he's really good at it. He will not sell it. I had to barter for it, which I thought was pretty cool. So
it's proper.
Exactly. So 8 hours of my hard labor cooking went into what I didn't expect. I expected was going to be one solid, tall bottle of mead. No, this man gave me 4. 2 tall bottles of mead, and 2 for you because I told him that you were interested.
I am very interested.
Yes. And of course, I wanted to try them with you. I have not opened these bottles.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, because mead is very prominent in that. Well, Viking culture gets a lot more screen time, we'll say. It's more prevalent, more well-known than my ancestors. So I'm kind of piggybacking off of that and seeing what was shared between them and mine.
Oh.
The old Cymrics there, the Welsh. And while my ancestry is not strictly Welsh, it is the origin of my name, and I think largely, at least British Isles, at least that area, England, Scotland, Wales, most of my ancestry seems to come from there.
All right.
So, do we want to break them out?
Let's bust them out.
All right.
I'm excited.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
It was going to be, but then I realized I had this.
God, I know what I'm getting you for your birthday. Just
give me 550 quart. I'll be happy.
just a 10-pound spool of 550 quart.
I'll sit there every day.
It's like Homer
Daisy,
Simpson.
yeah.
It's like Homer Simpson with rubber bands.
Exactly. There you go. I like simple joys, you know.
He's a simple man. He loves simple pleasures.
I'd like to think that if I were Joker, I'd be the same way, you know. Gasoline, dynamite.
Gasoline and bullets.
Yes. And they're cheap. Yes. Heath Ledger's Joker was phenomenal. All right,
Yeah.
so
You know, earlier we were talking about which one's your Batman. Who's your Joker?
it's the same thing. It's got to be Mark Hamill.
It's Hamill?
Mark Hamill, yes.
Okay.
From the animated series. He was fantastic. He was great. Even better, I loved how him and Kevin Conroy were also voicing in The Killing Joke. You can tell that they were a lot more serious characters.
That was a big production movie.
It was fantastic. Of course, I had the comic book, and I love the comic book. And there is some argument amongst the fans as to whether or not Barbara Gordon was raped in that one. I like to think that she wasn't. Joker is sadistic and fucked up, and he is a monster.
But even he's got limits.
But even he had limits, yes. That version of the Joker had limits, and I don't see him doing that.
He was also... Yeah, I don't see him as a rapist. He was also not a fascist.
No, he was not.
And there was a comic book where he and the Red Skull had been working on something. And
there was a crossover. It was beautiful.
Yeah. And so the Red Skull, he had the SS on his lapels or whatever. Or did he have the full-on jacket?
I do believe he had the full-on jacket. And
I never read the comic. I just saw bits of it, and I just like, whoa, I have to remember this.
Something along those lines. He revealed that he worked for the Nazi Party, and the Joker was not fucking having it.
Yeah, because it's like, I may be crazy, but I'm an American psycho.
That's right.
And like proceeded to just like beat the Red Skull.
Yes. Same Joker, by the way, that is crazy enough to take on the Batman, but not the IRS.
I love that. Is in fact, yeah, his reaction was, no, thank you.
Exactly. That was his... yeah. So... absolutely love that version
of everyone. The Joker files taxes.
He does, yes. Absolutely love that version of the Joker. By the way, he is a genius.
What's even creepier is that on our tax forms, and you can look this up at home, folks. There is a section in the 1040, your 1040A, I think it is, your normal taxes. Okay, if you're not single, you probably file a 1040EZ.
Yeah.
Okay, so it might be on there, but I know it's definitely on the 1040A, the main boy, because our tax code is geared towards married people with children living in a house, and so the 1040A is that form. It's what Beth and I file. So, and in that, I don't know how long it's been there, but under miscellaneous income. So the IRS expects you to report money given to you, if you did somebody's thing and they gave you some money, your birthday money from grandma, it's supposed to be reported, stolen goods. Yes, this is a fact. Future me, look this up. You are supposed to report stolen money and or goods, the approximate market value of the stolen goods you got that year, unless of course you return said goods within the same calendar year. That is on our tax forms.
That's insane.
We live in clown world.
Yes.
This is clown world.
You know the Joker did put that in, though. He filed taxes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's not going to take on the IRS.
Exactly.
Oh, God. Yeah, I fear for my mother. I know she's got some troubles coming up.
Oh, sorry to hear.
How a woman who has spent her entire professional career in accountancy is this bad at it? I don't know. But anyways.
Right.
So, getting back to my interest in mead. I am very pleased that you've befriended this Viking, because mead is also found in Welsh culture.
Yes.
So it is something that I've wanted to try and order some Welsh cakes for this, but I forgot to. And I've been broke.
Mind you, the Viking does have a name, but for his privacy, I will not name him. He will just be referred to henceforth as the Viking.
The Viking.
Yes.
All right. So
yes.
where do we start? Did he give you any instructions?
No, other than enjoy. And of course that these 2 bottles are yours. These 2 small ones are all yours to enjoy.
I love the classic corn cider jug.
That is nice.
You know.
I did...
Grandpappy's medicine.
I did replace the bottles for him. I did not want to barter or anything. I just said, look, I appreciate what you did. I did not expect this much. I would like to replace your bottles. I expect nothing in return. And he graciously accepted. I did not realize that some of the bottles that I purchased were whole kits to ferment more. He was very happy with that. I was very pleased with that, especially with the price that I got him for. But
I've always wanted to try and make my own booze, but I know it's a lot of work.
It is, and it is a craft that he loves, and he takes a lot of pride and time in. And, of course, he shares and barters. So, pick a bottle, my friend, and let's begin.
I'm just going to go with, like, my yard work theory. You start from the furthest point out and work your way home. So, we'll start with...
this bottle.
Yes.
Very good. Would you like the honors of cracking
golden
this bad boy open?
Sure.
Ooh.
It fizzed.
That's nice. Oh, nice.
Oh, look at it.
Oh, look at that. I didn't expect the bubbles.
Yeah, get a sniff.
Oh, that smells good. Okay. Okay.
It smells kind of beery.
Well, I have acquired a taste for beer.
It took a long time.
Yes, it did. But,
in fact, it was borderline Stockholm syndrome for you to start drinking beer.
It was difficult, but I now appreciate a nice cold beer at the end of the day every once in a while.
It is an American thing. It is one of the best aspects of American culture that we inherited from the Europeans.
A very nice fizz.
Yes.
Look at that. Some dude crafted this in his house for fun.
That's the bonkers stuff of it. That's what you gotta love that.
Oh, okay. I'm picking up almost
I have to trust your sense of smell.
Cidery kind of smell as well.
Yeah, all I've got's beer.
All right. Okay.
I have no sense of smell, so...
That's right.
Cheers.
Salud.
Iechyd.
That tastes like beer.
It does taste like beer, but not quite. It's...
Oh. All right, so it's got a very earthy aftertaste. Oh, I like that. Okay.
It's smoother than beer.
That it is.
It's got a malt... I would almost say maltier than most beers. And...
Okay. Yeah, this kind of earthier taste towards the end is...
It's not bitter.
No, it's not.
Beer is typically bitter. Bitter beer face! But no, this is more just a smooth... I'm not sure what to compare it to.
I don't know either. Like the earthy taste towards the end is pleasant, especially because I love wine. I loved wine way before I got into beer. Some of the darker red wines that had an earthier taste at the end, I associate with a lot of good memories, friends, trips, traveling. So, yeah, that earthy taste is very welcome.
Oh yeah, I could see myself drinking this regularly. However, that is something that, and I have to apologize. Speaking of which, I have to apologize. Our episode where we were discussing the aspects of virtues of manhood.
Yes.
Proper manhood.
Yes.
I got halfway through that episode and I decided, I'm just going to cut there where we had that power outage.
Oh, boy.
And try and make 2 episodes out of it. And
What
I
happened?
think I ruined it. I got the first half to where we made the power outage, and then I don't know what I was doing. I was turned the computer on way too early in the morning, started working, and I think I was looking to archive. Okay, my typical thing: do the episode, post it, archive it onto my SD cards, and then wipe it off the computer because the computer's old. It doesn't like carrying around a lot of cargo. And video files and slides and things like that, it takes up a lot of memory.
Right.
So clean all that off there. So what did I do? I uploaded that first half and then started to archive and then wiped off. The part that I wiped off was the video portion.
No.
I had the full audio because I archived that, but I wiped out the second half of the video. So it gets up to us having big cartoon eyes sitting in the dark, and then it ends.
That's beautiful.
So what made me think of that. I've been meaning to work up the balls to tell you that. That I'm sorry, and I've ruined that. Did you like the thumbnail?
We can rebuild.
Did you like the thumbnail?
Yes, I did. That was nice.
I'm not sure who you were arguing with, but you were definitely giving him what for.
Go me.
Some of my finest Photoshop work there.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah, we can rebuild, we can redo some of that. I don't know if we wanted to do that tonight, but what made me think of that was the fact that you were talking about wine, enjoying wine,
Yes.
and drinking this for the flavor of it. That is definitely a hallmark of maturity.
Is it?
I was thinking that, okay, generally speaking, most people start drinking around 18, 17, somewhere around there. Especially since you're not supposed to.
Exactly.
And then you kind of max out. You're 21, now you can. So somewhere around 22 to 25, you kind of max out. The drinking to the point of inebriation. Some people go full on blackout.
I hate that.
Yeah. But it's something almost all of us do. Drinking for the purpose of getting completely bonkers wasted. We've all done it at some point.
I've had a couple experiences. Not
Yeah.
a fan. Not a fan.
Not a fan. And, but we all do that. And then somewhere around, and I'm giving an age range because everyone's experience with this will be different. I started drinking early, and then on and off and on and off and on and off for a long time. And then I kind of maxed out around 22. And because 21's like, yeah, I can now. So I would spend copious amounts of my paycheck go drinking with people that I thought were my friends. And just kind of, then I was broke for the next 2 weeks.
That's no fun.
It's no fun. But then you realize you get somewhere between 25 to 30, your body starts to slow down a little bit. And you also realize this is having effects. So your body starts to change. And for men, peak male physiology is around 35. 34, 37.
In between there. It's ballpark.
I'm just going to go with 35. So somewhere around there, you start realizing you got to start taking better care of yourself. Especially when you're 27, you're not rubber anymore. Things start to hurt. Maybe you make noise when you sit down.
Or when you stand up.
Pop, pop. Yeah. So you slow down. You drink less.
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere around 35 to 40 is when you finally start to, I think, if you've matured at all, you start to look for different flavors of things. You can take a shot glass of rum and sip it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a sign of maturity. Because when you hand a shot glass to a 19-year-old, bam, give me another.
They're slamming it. Yep.
They're slamming it. They're going to slam a triple shot. I did.
Damn, dude. Well,
go for broke. Me and the captain were good friends.
Yeah, I was a late drinker. I didn't start till I was 25. But you know that story. I was afraid that it would become a crutch. I was legitimately afraid that I would start using it as a means to cope with certain things.
I am getting the honey. Now that the fizz has gone down, I am getting more of the honey.
Yeah, it is. Nice.
Well, there's a little bit of a history of alcoholism in your family, isn't there?
No.
No?
No.
Who am I thinking of then?
No, not that I know of.
Oh, yeah, I might be thinking of Ricardo.
Mm.
Okay, never mind.
I wouldn't be surprised, but no, not that I know of. Neither side of my grandparents seem to be heavy drinkers.
That is rare.
Yes, I know, right?
That is very rare.
In fact, to my understanding, my grandfather, from my father's side, enjoyed his tequila responsibly, and he aimed for the taste. It was all about the taste.
Yeah.
He loved a good tequila, especially a nice, well-aged tequila. I mean, that man, he had refined taste, to my understanding.
Yeah.
I didn't really get to know him that well, but I do know that he had a good stock of old tequila.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you can't taste anything. It's all alcohol. No, you can. You can. If you drink it slowly, you can. If you're slamming the shots, you can't.
I believe he also mixed it with agave nectar to give it more of a sweet taste. I don't know how well that worked out, but you know,
I could see that. I don't know if agave is. Well, I imagine agave is sweet. That's what tequila is made from. So there's got to be a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah, agave nectar is very sweet. It's very good. I like using it on waffles.
I know nothing about agave, but now I'm interested because I love waffles.
It's really good. Actually, give it a shot. Try out some agave nectar. No alcohol, obviously. It's just a form of well, like maple syrup or honey. It's really good.
Or like cane sugar.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's good.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll have to try the Mexican grocery store next to my shop and see if I can find some agave there.
Yeah. Give it a shot. Pun intended.
Just like fresh cut leaves or what?
No, it's sweet like honey.
Yeah, but like if I go to get it, just like find like agave juice or like just leaves or
agave nectar.
Nectar.
Yeah, it looks like honey. It looks like maple syrup. It could be as dark as maple syrup sometimes, or it could be as light as honey. It's good. It really is. I've never been disappointed.
Wow. Well, okay. Now I'm learning things today.
Yeah. All right. So we've tried the light bottle. I've cleansed my palate with a little bit of water.
I'm still nursing this along.
Gotcha. Maybe half a goblet this time.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll maybe a bit gauche, but I'll do it.
There you go. All right. Absolutely love this one.
Yeah.
I wish I had a name for it. No name was provided.
We'll call that goldenrod.
Goldenrod.
Just because it's in a clear bottle and we can see it.
Let's try this bad boy. And of course.
Now, to dispel something.
Yes.
Drinking is not necessary for manhood.
No, it is not.
There is you can actually say many good things about sobriety. This is something you can do to, if you want to. It's an option.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually, it's, I don't know. I'm just trying to say it's like, you don't have to drink to be considered a man.
One of the most manliest men in the history of manly men is actually considered a teetotaler pirate. Yes, he drank tea.
Yeah, you told me about him.
I did,
Yeah.
yes.
And he was Welsh.
And he was a badass. The guy was a well-educated, masterful, skillful, intelligent badass. He loved tea. He promoted fairness upon the ship. He was a great leader. He kicked ass, took names. I don't believe he swore. He sure as hell didn't drink. And he was very close to the Bible.
Yeah.
But he did take lives like a motherfucker.
Well, pirate.
Pirate, exactly, yes.
God damn it, I'm forgetting his name. What was his name?
I do not remember the teetotaler pirate's name.
God damn it. Well, it's in our discussion on manhood part 1.
Yes.
So I'll have to go back and find it. But yeah, started learning more about him. And to my amazement, yeah, he was a Welsh pirate living down Argentina, I think, or wherever. No, it was off the coast of Africa. And the guy that trained him to be a pirate saved him or rescued him.
Kidnapped him.
I'm trying to remember his whole story.
Straight up kidnapped him because they needed an educated man for the maps and the paperwork and whatnot. Yeah, I guess there was paperwork during piracy. I don't know, but they did need a navigator, and this man knew how to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, super cool.
Yeah. But also there was the guy who tutored him or something in some capacity was also a Welsh.
Really?
And that was what it's like. Hey, he's went in there just conquering and start and hey, don't kill me. You're speaking Cumbric? Yes. Oh, Cumry, come with me. Okay. You've got the sword, so okay.
They basically kidnapped. Yeah. And I thought it was hilarious that once the captain died, once his captor was killed, the crew looked upon this guy, their captive, and said, "You're the captain now." They didn't want the responsibility. They threw it upon his shoulders. And guess what?
And it worked.
He didn't shrug it off. He shrugged it on.
He shouldered it.
He shouldered it. This guy stood up and said, "All right, we're doing things my way." And the first order of business was to avenge their former captain.
No, I do remember this. Yeah. Okay, his captain was a Welsh pirate, and if I remember right, the flag was a skeleton standing on 2 heads.
Yep.
Okay, it was the mayor of 2 different islands
Responsible for the death
of his former captain.
And in his hand, he held another skull. The head of his captain.
Oh, yeah, because the captain went ashore to barter some deal or something like that, and don't murder our town and we'll give you stuff. And he went there, but it was a trap, and they murdered the captain.
They murdered the captain. It was a trap. Yep.
Yeah. And ever since then, he had no patience for Barbados, and I think it starts with an A.
I can't remember.
Something. Yeah, but the initials underneath those skulls, it's a Barbados head and something else head.
Yeah, something. It was pretty badass, and I did like the fact that he was standing on those skulls, showing that he had no respect for them. But in his hand, he held the skull of the man that he did have respect for, eye level with him.
Yeah,
I thought that was classy.
Damn, it's gonna bug me. I gotta look that up.
We gotta look it up later. It's badass. Great story.
Okay, you know what? You pour. I will try and find that.
Okay. All right, so this one. Oh, that's a nice sound. All right, let's have a smell. Sweeter, maybe? Not sure. We'll see. All right. This one's colored too. Okay.
No, I guess that's just it's made of honey, so
Of course.
yeah, just a half goblet.
All right. that halfway? Yes, it is.
Bartholomew Roberts.
Bartholomew Roberts.
Yes, because I remember it was tied to the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Dread Pirate Roberts. Fantastic.
Okay, so let me...
Yes, I just remember the story. I remember a special on TV about him being a teetotaler, refused to drink. He read from the Bible. He was fair to his men. He read the Bible to his men. He implemented strict rules on the ship. He was fair, and he was a badass.
Yeah, here we go. Bartholomew Roberts. Born May of 1682, died February of 1722. So he was, 40. He was 40.
He's about right for the age.
I'm 40!
Back then.
Yeah, touche.
All right, let's try this.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is weak out here. So... This one tastes stronger.
I agree. It's good. It's very good.
It's got more sourness. This one's slightly more sour.
It's less of the earthy taste.
Yeah, I'm not getting any of that. You know where I haven't been in a long time? Simonian Farms.
Simonian Farms. I love their pomegranate wine.
Ooh,
That's some good stuff.
It's got a nice dry flavor. It's a nice sweet but dry taste to it.
They also have, of course, peach wine and some sweeter wines, dessert wines, of course.
I'm sure the blackberry's in season this year, right about now.
Yeah, you're right.
Their inventory changes due to season.
There is also strawberry wine. I don't know if they have any strawberry wine, but I've seen it. I have not tried it yet. I imagine it goes well with ice cream.
Huh. Come on.
This legitimately tastes like something that I would buy off the shelf. This is high. This is good. This is really good.
There he is.
Hey.
There he is. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, try and pronounce that, I dare you.
No. I'm not even going to try now.
Casnu...
Okay, let me try. Fine, screw it. It'll be fun.
Casnuid Bach. That's what I'm going with.
Casnuid Bach.
I'll put the letters here.
Casnuid Bach. Casnuid?
Nuid. That sounds all right.
Nuid.
Well, the Y is usually an I sound.
Ah.
So Nuid?
Nuid?
Nuid.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Casnuid. Okay, so measured by vessels captured, most successful pirate of the golden age of piracy. During his career, he took over 400 prize ships.
Jeez.
Although most were mere fishing boats. Should have left that part out. He raided ships off the Americas and the West African coast between 1719 and 1722. Also noted for creating his own pirate code and adopting an early variant of the skull and crossbones flag.
Indeed.
Nice.
This guy was, to some extent, the father of modern piracy.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, wrote a pirate code. Rules, like I said. He set rules. He was a very educated man. Of course he was, to set everything up. I guess he also held mast on ship. He wanted to save his lawless men spiritually. No, it's weird.
It's a weird conundrum to be spaved spiritually, but also being like, yeah, we're taking your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's most of the hoodlums you see running around here with the Virgin Mary painted on the trunk of their car.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. Now, remember, it shows how successful he was by the amount of ships he took, not by the amount of people he killed.
Touche. Running up the flag was a good way of letting people know what you were about, and as like they could try to say, I'm not going to try and fight back.
It is true. Some people would, especially fishing boats, would likely stop and like, hey, take what we got. Just don't hurt us.
Now, also, when they say fishing boats, I'm wondering, okay, was that now today when we think fishing boats, we think Dad's trawler. Yeah, put it on a trailer, drive to Shaver Lake, and fool around for a few hours. Fishing boats back then, I imagine, were a lot bigger. They were like merchant vessels, meant for hauling cargo.
I imagine they were pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, fairly sizable.
I imagine they were fishing with nets, were they not?
I would imagine so. You're fishing off the ocean, so
yeah, they must have. Yeah, they had a huge cargo of fish and goods, and I imagine.
I don't know much about 1700s fishing technology.
It's just a guess, but they must have had enough to keep this group of pirates happy. I mean,
hey man, sometimes they want gold, sometimes they want some halibut. Why did they go Why did they go pirating?
For the halibut.
Yes, indeed.
Right, that's pretty good.
Bring that up just a little bit. Yeah.
There it is. All right. So
drinking is not necessary to be a man. It's just something some guys do. Much like shaving. I prefer to be clean shaven. Fuzzy over here does not.
What? I like to be fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
Yes.
It's when it starts to really come in. Is when you start looking like Armenian or something.
I'll shave before the start of my work week, so.
Oh, okay.
That'll be fine. I'll be clean shaven by then. I'll look
Which,
good.
also, actually, correction, of the 4 Armenian men I've known in my life, only one of them has a beard, but he looks more Persian.
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Greg kind of grew a beard, but he kept it really short, a little bit scruffier than what you got now. So, not much of a beard. And the other 2 shave.
All right.
I mean, Levon's got a mustache. That's about it.
All righty.
A short mustache at that. And I'm not sure if that's just a personal choice or if that's just something left over from his young years. You would love to meet that guy.
Probably.
He's got stories.
I love stories.
He grew up in the Soviet Union.
Interesting.
Before I had your curiosity, now I have your attention.
Now you have my attention. Yes.
He was born in old country. Yet he doesn't talk like that. At least not much. It's hard for me to mimic his accent. But no, he was born in Armenia, in one of the mid-sized towns in Armenia back in 1964. So in the heyday of the Soviet Union. And he was there for most of it.
Wow.
Yeah. He got here, I think, 82?
Oh.
No, later than that. A little bit later than that. I think like 86. Because he, shortly after finishing his military service, so, which, at that time, I think it was like 2 or 3 years mandatory military service. He lived in Siberia for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. He had the big fuzzy hat and everything. I have seen a picture of him and the other guys standing in their big fuzzy hats, shirtless, snow, logs, axes over the, they're posing manly.
That's very manly.
Yes, to be shirtless in Siberia.
That's pretty manly.
Levon's got stories and clanking ones.
So what was it that Rocky said? It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep going that measures how tough you are.
Yes.
Yes. So having the intestinal fortitude and strength to stand shirtless in snow, that's a good show of your endurance and strength.
Yes.
Physical, anyway.
Yes. But he's a great guy.
He sounds like
he
a
is
fun
an awesome guy. He's I like him a lot. And yeah, you get him going on stories.
I would love to hear some of his stories one day.
Oh man, I keep meaning to get him in here. One of these days, I'm going to get him in here, and I'm going to serve him tea, and he's going to tell all of his stories about raising sparrows and everything.
Does he drink? Because I can bring one of these.
Might get him to try it. I know he sips vodka.
Oh.
He's getting old, so he doesn't drink much anymore.
Gotcha. Let's put
In
this
fact,
on
I
the
know
side.
he's getting old because that's one of he says that like 3 or 4 times a day.
I'm getting old.
That is something I've noticed about most Armenian men. As somewhere around 60, a switch flips, and their hobby becomes complaining. Mostly about getting old.
Yes. That sounds about right.
But, I don't know if that's just Armenian.
No, I think that's just about everyone.
Especially men.
Especially men.
Women start complaining about getting old a lot earlier. 30?
Gotta moisturize.
Let it grow.
Anti-wrinkle cream at 16.
God.
That seems to be a big problem emerging, but that is a topic for another time.
Yeah, I can just say this. Women, ladies, young girls, don't worry about it. Just be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you're 16, you don't need anti-wrinkle cream.
Mm-mm.
If you're 26, you don't need anti-wrinkle cream.
Mm-mm.
If you were 36, you don't need anti-wrinkle cream.
Nope.
Can you pick up the trend that I'm trying to say? When you're 56, you don't need anti-wrinkle cream.
Mm-mm.
You don't need anti-wrinkle cream. Don't worry about it.
Men will love you regardless, trust me.
Yep. We're not counting your wrinkles. We don't care.
Not at all.
We're not counting your gray hairs. We don't care.
Not at all.
Nope. In fact, when Beth started to get some grays, I told her she was turning chrome. And chrome is awesome.
I like that. I'm using that in the future.
Well, CC will get there.
She says that I am acquiring salt and pepper.
Yeah,
And,
you've been doing that for a long time, though.
yes. And salt and pepper is all she needs on her steak.
Based.
So I thought that was pretty cool. I like that a lot. That was a,
I
that was a
do.
great-
I agree.
That was a good line.
Unless you're Trump and you put ketchup on your cake.
Don't.
Some guys swear by it. I don't know if that's a New England thing, Northeast thing, Midwest thing, or what. Some guys swear by putting ketchup on steak. They want it well done with steak. No. Me, I want it naked and still mooing. Just lightly seared on the outside, just enough to trap the juices in, because I want to be able to I want to hear it moo as I cut it.
There you go.
Because if it was cut correctly from the butcher, this is what freaks people out. The red stuff that comes out.
Mm-hmm.
That is not blood. It is not. Information is power. It is I want to say ambiotic, but it doesn't sound right. It is a juice. It's juice. It's fluid.
Juice. It's
fluid.
moo juice.
Yes, it is moo juice. It is not blood. It is just a fluid. It is a juice, and it is full of nutrient and vitamin and things that are good for you. And flavor. Yes. Don't be afraid of the juice. Don't be afraid of the fat. That's what brings the flavor. There is even vitamins in fat.
Yeah.
Okay? Get rid of your margarine. Start cooking with lard.
Yes.
If you got to grease a pan, get a little, reach down, grab the tub of lard, the bucket of lard, and just
It's the good stuff. That is the good
because there is vitamins in there. Vitamins that you will not find in margarine. Margarine is full of vegetable oil. It is soy. You're not supposed to have this in you. Alton Brown. And I learned all this from people smarter than me. As my favorite thing to do is learning from people smarter than me. Alton Brown did a whole segment on soy, different oils, cooking oils.
Right.
canola oil, vegetable oil, corn oil, soy oil. Soy is in everything. It's almost as ubiquitous as high fructose corn syrup.
Oh,
High fructose corn syrup is in everything. It's in green beans.
gross.
I am dead serious.
How?
Next time you go to a grocery store, pick up a can of green beans and look on the back.
High fructose corn syrup?
Yes.
I'm going to start growing my own green beans. I'm already growing my own pumpkins. Might as well. I got corn coming next.
I mean, Beth and I are like almost psychotic with the ingredients readings. Largely because Lily. She's soy sensitive.
I see.
She is very lactose intolerant.
I know that feeling.
And, yes, you do. And she is also sensitive to soy.
Mm.
And she is also sensitive to corn.
Really?
Yep.
I see.
So, cornstarch, to be specific.
I see.
So, Pringles destroy her.
Can't have those.
She can't have Pringles because there's a lot of cornstarch in their mix. When they make Pringles, they take powdered potato, mix that with cornstarch, and then moisten it so that it holds its shape and doesn't just crumble like Blaze. Blaze, you can tell. That's a sliced potato.
Yes.
Because they're irregular, they're different shaped and everything, and they've got the brownness.
Mm-hmm.
That's a slice of potato. The Pringles, everything is the same, and that's why it fits in the container. They do that by making basically potato paste that is infused with cornstarch.
Gross.
Yeah. Well, the cornstarch helps it hold its shape. And they lay that out in a big sheet, and it rolls under a cutter, and it does like that. And as it's baking, bakes it, and then they fry it, and then they package it. So there's a little bit of soy in the oil that they use. It's a vegetable oil, so there's probably some soy in there, but there's also a lot of cornstarch in potato chip in the mix. So she can't have those. It makes her sick.
Alrighty then. You just ruined chips for me. Well, not all chips, but yeah.
No. Great value, lightly salted chips are tasty, and they're potato.
I do love kettle cooked chips.
I haven't tried the kettle ones.
Those are fantastic. I'm pretty sure they're chock full of stuff that's not good for me. But if I learn how to make them myself, which I do aspire to do, along with, of course, my project of attempting to create the perfect French fry. I've experimented with different oils. I will figure it out. Air fryers are fantastic. So I've been playing with air fryers. Minimal amount of oil. And, of course, baking French fries as well. As it turns out, less oil, better French fry. So
are you counting crunchiness or potato flavor?
Both. I want there to be an exterior layer of kind of crunchiness.
Okay.
Which, of course, you can get by deep frying twice. But using very little oil and an air fryer, you can achieve a nice crispy texture and nice soft inside of these nice thick French fries. Not all of them are going to have the crisp, of course, but I'm trying. I'm trying to get there. And, of course, seasoned salt.
Larry's seasoning salt. Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yes.
It's good stuff. And I've realized simple is better, and time. You cannot rush a perfect French fry. So you cut up the potatoes, you wash them to get the extra starch off, you let them sit in water for a while, you let them rest for 24 hours. Yeah, I know, right?
Really?
Yeah, it's a time-consuming process. And only then, after that, the next day, do you start. But I'm experimenting.
That is way too complicated for my redneck ass. When I want fries now.
I know.
I don't want them 2 days from now. I want them now.
I am attempting to create art here, my friend.
I think you're trying a little too hard. Perfection is unknowable.
Look, that is left me with a really good French fry.
Okay.
It is not to my level of perfection, but it is damn good. Fucking good.
Okay, you say so. But because you see, I used to make my own fries when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
We had one of those cool slicer things. You know, it was like.
Yep.
And yeah, it was. I think I would slice. I think I would wash them off afterwards.
It's a lot of starch, dude. You gotta wash them.
I don't know. I didn't care. I was like 10. I was just, happy to make my own fries, man. I was like, I could do this on my own? What? Potato, slicer, cast iron skillet, oil, fry, things in. Open the spice cabinet. All of it. I really was. I was just like, pumpkin spice, sure. Allspice, sure. Paprika, I can't even pronounce this, sure. Or, isn't that a state? Oregon.
Yep. I've used sugar. I've used sugar and brown sugar.
I even flambéed.
Oh, really?
And I'd say this as an accomplishment in that I flambéed my fries in a cast iron skillet on an electric stove
I'm impressed.
without setting the house on fire.
Well done.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would tip the skillet over just enough to get some of the oil to spill out onto the coil, and it would catch, get into the pan, and I would flip it back.
You're crazy.
Hi.
Pour the next one. Pour the next one.
Hey, I didn't catch the... But did you die?
I mean, as I said before, well done. And hopefully not the French fries were well done.
No, they were delicious.
Okay.
I don't remember what all was on them, which was a real pain because I could never reproduce the batch. I didn't write anything down.
Not catching the smell yet. That's good. Let's see.
And as Adam Savage of Mythbusters pointed out, the difference between science and screwing around is writing things down.
This one looks a little darker.
It is. Yeah. Almost feels like it's been in a barrel.
It's got a good smell to it. It's got a very good smell to it.
Oh, that does have sweet.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Oh, it's thick.
Oh, that's definitely sweeter.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's really nice. I like this one a lot.
That's got a lot of honey.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Ooh, we have a winner.
That's good. I like that a lot.
There's just a little bit of alcohol in there, but you can really get the honey.
That is sweet.
Oh my god, it's mouthwatering.
That's great.
By the way, you have to name that cup. This is Phil.
Well,
Beth named this one, so I guess you get to name that one.
all right, all right.
It'll come to you. No pressure.
I got it. Steve.
No, I reject that.
Come on.
I know too many Steves.
Okay, fine. This is Goyle.
Goyle.
Goyle the gargoyle.
Goyle the gargoyle. Okay. Goyle.
I know Steve was going to be rejected right off the bat.
I know too many Steves. Or I have known too many Steves anyways.
Didn't we know a Steven? We sure did.
Venice?
Venice. His name was Steven, right? Broke down BMW.
I always called him by his last name.
His first name was Steven.
Okay. Yeah.
He was tricked into buying that car.
As are pretty much everyone. That is the lawn ornament of the Hispanic middle class. The BMW.
Oh, jeez. I can't even say anything because... Yeah. Yeah.
Some
Mi
stereotypes.
vecino, igualmente, él tuvo un BMW. Broke down, BMW.
On the lawn for
On the
about the
lawn.
next 5 years.
Longer, actually. And he'd be working on it every once in a while. Did it ever start? Fuck no.
Nope. And they would always talk about how great that car drove when they drove it. It drove great for like 6 months, and then it kind of did a thing, and yep,
Got it from his cousin.
got it from his cousin.
Ooh, all right. So, I don't know why it
Wait,
reminded
are we
me.
still talking about the same guy or another guy you knew?
We're talking about, well, basically almost the same person. I mean,
Okay.
Anyway, all right. We're talking about a Honda this time, right?
Oh, Lord.
Okay. All right. So, I had a couple cousins in Mexico. So, long stretch of road. This is when I was maybe 5. So the story was told to me secondhand, and then it was confirmed by said cousin for every detail. All right, so they had a really old Honda, and a long stretch of desert road. And
Okay, so now we're saying really old. So you're 5, so this makes it 1990. So how old was this car at that time?
I don't know.
Because when you say really old, it's like, what, a Honda CVCC?
Well, this thing was already being held together by hopes and dreams. But it still ran. To my understanding, the way the story was told, this car can only do upwards to 70 or 80 miles max an hour, right?
Yeah, that sounds like a CVCC or an N600.
Okay, so, but the thing still ran.
Yeah.
No AC, no radio.
Sounds like,
yeah.
yeah, okay, the Japanese cars that came here in the 70s were just like tin boxes.
But the damn thing still ran. And
They were durable little shits.
it was. So this thing had been taken to hell and back, but it still worked. So
Quality engineering.
they decided, hey, let's see how fast we can take this thing.
Oh Lord.
Right.
They were never meant to go fast.
What else were they going to break on the damn thing, right?
Yeah.
Plenty.
What could possibly go wrong? This is why women live longer.
All right, so to this day, we don't know exactly how. Perhaps there was a dip in the road. Maybe my cousin did see something and he swerved. Something happened where instead of hitting the brakes, he swerved. The car flipped over and over and over again before landing upright. Somehow, my cousins were fine. Somehow. A little bloody, a little bruised, but they were fine. Right? They must have sat there for maybe a minute. I don't know. They say maybe 5 minutes. It probably seemed like an eternity before one looked at the other, realized they're both still alive. Hey, you good? Yeah. You good? Yeah. I need new pants.
Do it again?
Yeah, I can smell it again. Yeah,
Let's
me
do it
too.
again.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
They, yeah, one of them shit himself. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Anyway, so he ended up walking back with shitty pants to the nearest town. To my understanding, they brought back the car and they got it running again eventually.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Those early Hondas were just round. So if you rolled it, it would probably just roll right back over. And the engines were tough. The engines were tough little buggers, and that's one of the things that's always saved those companies. The early Japanese cars in general, my old Corolla, Japan had not yet discovered the idea of undercoating, so they tended to rust out. The manufacturing processes were not that great. The panel gaps were gappy. And it just felt tinny and cheap. It felt like a lunchbox. But the engineering behind it was sound. And that's what always saved those things was and established the brands, Honda and Toyota especially, established the brands, was that the engineering was sound and that the engines themselves would just go and go.
This is true.
And, the Toyota pickup truck from the 70s and into the 80s, that little quarter-ton pickup trucks, you see them around town still. The 1-tons.
Yeah.
A 1-ton chassis. How is that thing that small supposed to handle a 1-ton? It's a 4-cylinder engine.
Yet it did.
It does. They made dualies.
Yeah.
They made motorhomes.
Somehow.
Yes. The Chinook motorhome is on a Toyota pickup truck frame. It's like, how?
It just goes. It just works. The best truck that I ever had was a Toyota SR5, 1987. I loved that truck. I ended up having to leave it behind, but it was a fantastic truck. I love that.
Probably
thing.
still running.
It probably is. The first thing that failed on the damn thing was the alternator. When I took it in to get it worked on, it was the original alternator. It was the original first alternator. Like, oh wow, it's this lasted for well over 20 years.
Those cars those vehicles benefited from a combination of two great things. One, quality engineering. The Japanese can do math. Even if their manufacturing processes at that time were not that great, they can do math. They know how to get tolerances on the engines right. The second great thing was their vehicles were very simple. They didn't have a lot of fluff and nonsense on it. They didn't have a lot of bells and whistles compared to American cars, where everything was electronic. Everything was complicated. It was the Melee's era. We were not making horsepower, so they went for style and convenience. Power windows, power seats, power mirrors, power everything. And so the photocopier principle kicks in. The more complicated you make something, the faster it breaks.
Yep.
The more simple you make a thing, the longer it lasts.
Very nice. So simple is better sometimes, I guess.
Yeah. And so vehicles that are very simple tend to just freaking last.
I miss that truck.
And it's still true in cars. Just to compare apples to apples, Chevy trucks. You take your Silverado, your 1500 Silverado. Every construction worker drives one. Every farmer, every construction worker, every handyman drives one of these damn things. It's a pushrod engine. It's a 5.3, maybe a 5.7, I think. Yeah, but most of them are 5.3. If it's a 2500 truck, that makes it a 6-liter. But it's the same engine. And there's nothing there. It's just simple barn door engineering. It's a pushrod engine. We've been using overhead engines since the 50s. Its architecture can be traced all the way back to that 1955 small block. It is the culmination of decades of twiddling with an idea and tweaking a design. And it's fucking bulletproof.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But then they did.
Of course.
They got rid of it and went with a new engine, and it's garbage. It's not nearly as good.
Bummer.
Yep. My buddy Jack bought one 2021. This truck had not yet had 100. It had like 60,000 miles on it, and the fuel pump died.
Bummer.
Because they went from port injection to direct injection. They needed a high pressure pump, which was driven off the camshaft, which was all the way down in the guts of the engine. Well, those high pressure pumps were defective when they left the factory. They didn't realize that until later. It was a bad design.
They did not stress test this.
Apparently not. Or at least they realized, if they did, this is part of the modern manufacturing process. Will the part fail? Yes. Will the part fail during or after warranty? After. Ship it. They take into account, okay, whenever you're manufacturing something, they're making these things by the tens of thousands.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be an amount of things that fail. When you're making cups, there will be a certain number of them that come off the assembly line. The picture's sideways or it's deformed or something like that. There's going to be some flub ups. Doesn't matter. It's, you're going to get some of them that are bad. And some of those bad ones are going to make it to market. It's just a mathematical probability. You're going to get some oops. Coin collectors look for the oops.
Makes them more valuable.
Baseball card collectors, coin collectors, stamp collectors, we look for them. So,
not so valuable when it's a working machine. No, that's a big oops.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So they know out of 100,000 units of production, say 50,000 units made in that year.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are going to fail in the field. How many? Okay, so 10,000 out of 50. Actually, we'll say 5,000 out of 50. So a 10% failure rate.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that, how many will actually fail within the time frame of warranty? 2,000. Okay. And then how many do we think are actually going to make it to the dealership for us to... now, out of the 2,000 that are fail, is that going to be worth a recall or a TSB? Technical Service Bulletin. A recall is where imminent danger to bodily harm or death.
Oh, shit.
If it can hurt you and or kill you, then they will have to issue a recall, if it can be proved. However, if it's simply inconvenience, the door handle falls off, TSB.
Motherfuckers.
If something stops working, it can be a TSB. GM's going through that right now with both those Silverados. The high pressure fuel pumps were going out and being replaced with an updated design. It was a bad design made in China of the cheapest materials, and it was being replaced by an updated design that no one could get because everyone was scrambling to get one. Because their Chinesium pump, it was Chinesium being replaced by unobtainium. And they're going through similar problems with their diesel engines because there is I think it's the Mark IV pumps just self-destruct, eat themselves from the inside. The gears inside just grind.
Ooh.
And so you'll end up with the forbidden glitter throughout the entirety of your fuel system. At which point it has to be replaced and or flushed. All of the injectors.
Bad times.
You drop the tank, empty it out, clean it out, you flush the lines, you replace the filters, you replace the injectors.
That is a huge inconvenience.
And it's expensive. And my boy Nick has done it twice. To a customer's vehicle, not his own.
That is unfortunate.
And it's a TSB, not a recall. Because your car will just simply stop working.
I'd like to add that it's very unmanly for someone to put out a bad product.
That's just asinine.
Exactly. This, on the other hand,
is excellent.
Is fantastic. Okay, the last one was an absolute winner.
Yes.
And that is yours to keep.
Awesome. Today's a win.
Yeah, that is yours to keep.
I feel like Krillin. Today's a win.
That's really good. I enjoyed that one thoroughly. I'm gonna have to barter for an entire bottle of that stuff.
I will pay this man in silver.
Oh, that's good.
Bring the treasure.
By the way, I did tell the Viking that you dabble in coin collection,
Sweat.
and he has expressed he would accept such barter.
Excellent. I have many interesting coins.
Yes.
Did he say what kind of coins he likes?
Anything that he fancies, I guess. It's entirely up to what he values, really.
I mean, I've got lots of pesos and Canadian coins.
I mean, I paid him in
soup,
in pozole.
Pozole.
Yes.
Yes.
And I didn't use a pressure cooker. I know a lot of people like to use a pressure cooker, and that's a lot faster, but it really takes away from the the art and the love and the passion in sitting there and taking care of the pot for a full 6 to 8 hours, making sure that the stew is coming out just right, that it tastes fantastic, and of course, making sure that the pork falls apart in your mouth at the very end. Perfection. And that is exactly how it came out. It was great. He said he didn't want it too spicy. I got it just right.
You can do the pancha?
Just right. It's perfect.
I love those memes.
Yes. So,
I love memes.
yes. He enjoyed it. He did give me a few insights as to how he liked it. Next time I will do better to his liking. If I plan on bartering again. And of course, again, I will sit there for a whole 8 hours making sure that it comes out just right. Right? It is a labor of passion.
Yes, it is. It is. My goodness. And he is good at it. I am duly impressed.
All right. So, last one. All right. Let's do this.
Okay.
Ooh. Hey, look at that.
Ooh.
Nice.
Anything?
I'm not picking up a smell. You?
Nope.
Yeah, let's try it.
But that's not saying anything, because it really sucks.
I don't know. It's going to be really hard to top that one. It's going to be really hard to top that one. That one is... Whoa.
That is, like, clear. We're getting a nice variety here.
This is...
He really assembled a variety pack for us here. That's good, that's good, that's good.
Okay.
It really sucks not having a sense of smell.
I'm sorry.
We were joking one day talking about that, and one of my coworkers, I think I stumped him. He's like, "Oh wow, man!" So like, when people go lose one sense, the other senses pick up. Like, what did you gain? Because he's talking about people go deaf and their sight gets better, or they lose their sight and their hearing gets better, or whatever,
Right.
And they become a daredevil. They got supersonic hearing.
Right.
He's like, so. What did I, he's like, what'd you, so like, did your other sensors pick up? I was like, I guess you could say that. What did you gain, Mark? Well, like, what did you, improve? And like, cognitive ability, deductive reasoning.
Okay. Acceptable. By the way, we have more than 5, 6 senses. We really do. Sense of time. Sense of direction. You can tell which way's up. If you're hanging upside down, lying down, face down, you have a sense of direction.
Okay, which way's north?
We don't have that. Oh, believe it or not, in Australia, everyone tends to have a sense of north.
Even though they're really far away from it?
Yeah. They tend to know which direction is north.
Yeah, you'd think they'd orient themselves to the southern pole, which would be closer. This one's more sour.
Yes, this is definitely much more sour. No, I'm sorry. As good as this one might be, that's the winner right there. That sweet nectar.
That
is phenomenal. This has more of a what do I want to say? How would I compare this? Almost champagne-like.
Never had champagne, but it's more ale.
Ale. I do like that it has more bubbles than the other ones, apparently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's where I'm getting the whole champagne thing from.
Actually, I think I have had champagne, and it's just... Champagne is like salty beer.
I'm not a fan of champagne, to be completely honest.
I find it overrated.
I've tried mimosas. No thanks. I'd rather have a screwdriver, thank you.
Sorry, I thought I had a screwdriver handy.
Smartass.
You know you love me.
I do. All right, this isn't bad.
No, actually, I cleaned up the... This is slightly cleaned up. Yeah, it is full-fledged summer here. I should explain. The studio is a little different, and you might be actually hearing it a little bit. The AC is running. It is summer in full effect here in Fresno now. Today it was, I believe, 108.
Give or take, yeah.
And it was actually a tad humid, especially this morning. My God.
I felt it too.
I was outside cleaning up in the yard a little bit, and my God, it just... It could chew the air. And so it is hot. I had to move the normal studio. As you can see, the couch, that is the linking item, and Tiny is back there, and Mr. Spock is there. So I've had to flip the studio just a little bit, put the camera in a different spot, and now you get to see my lovely Gadsden flag, some of my license plates, which I have many. My Star Trek intercom communicator, and the gun stock.
I remember when you got that.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
We were talking about that in a previous episode, and so I decided to hang it there. Unfortunately, it was out of shot until now. The camera is like further away. I had to like stack some boxes and put the camera there. It's just kind of makeshift.
I have to know it's got a lovely varnish on it, whatever it is. It's shiny.
It is shiny.
Yes.
I think I paid like $10 for it. I keep meaning to like put like a little barrel or find a pipe to make it at least look more complete. Just make it a mock-up, and because I have no idea what it goes to.
Yeah, neither do I. But it is well made. It is beautiful, just as is.
Yeah, the reason I moved everything around was so we could have air conditioning.
Yes.
It was behind. Yeah. Whoa! Shit.
Oh no! Paper towels. Can we pause for a second?
Alright, time out.
We're not here to get drunk. We were here to taste.
Yes.
And we can both agree what the clear winner is. For sure. Yeah.
Is that the one with the white lid or the black lid?
The black lid.
Black lid.
Black lid is the winner. Very sweet.
That was more what I thought mead would taste like. I had no idea.
So I wasn't sure either. I had tried a little bit before.
Let me say this though. This guy really did us a solid. I don't know how. Just to illustrate a point. Okay, your styrofoam cup there.
Yes.
Hold that up. That is what, 12 ounces?
Something like that, yeah.
Standard soda cup. The Ren Fair Beth and I went to, they were selling Dixie cups of mead. I mean, it was like a small 6-ounce cups.
Wow.
It was like $9.
No.
Yeah.
This big thing here, this big jug, is 64.
That is 64 ounce. That is 64 ounce. That is 32. That is 32. So you've got three. What's 64 times 3?
I can't. I suck at math.
Okay.
Don't
64
ask.
64 is 128. 128 plus 64 is 32. 192.
192 fluid ounces.
Yeah.
Of mead. A different flavored mead.
That he could have sold at a Ren Fair for $9 in 6-ounce increments. So, yeah, there's probably close to $100 there.
Oh, you know what?
At Ren Fair prices.
8 hours of my labor for... Yeah, you know what? That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
That was definitely a fair trade. Shoot, I would have done 2 days worth for the amount that I got.
It's like 2 ounces of silver at market value right now. Silver's at like $30 an ounce.
So yeah, he did do us a solid. He didn't.
I'm sorry, 3. God, 3.
Yeah, he didn't have to give me these little ones. These little ones were strictly for him because he's interested. These were for sampling. These are for sharing. These were for him. Yeah. Only because I mentioned that that he had a vested interest in his craft, and that he had a large level of respect for the craft that he indulged in. And of course,
when I get my POD business going, I'm going to make this guy some shirts. Viking mead.
Excuse me.
I'm going to help him establish a brand,
I don't think he wants to expand that far.
or at least some shirts he can wear or something. I don't know, man.
You got to get him something because this is fantastic. This is great. Look, I legitimately have enjoyed every bottle. That one more than the others, and I'm a little jealous that you get to keep it. But that is his gift to keep.
Well, that's okay because I am a slow drinker,
Yes.
so it's going to last quite a while.
Oh, good.
So it will probably still be here next time you're here.
Excellent.
Yes.
I would be more than happy to partake on either bottle. Because this is good.
Yeah, I mean, as Beth mentioned earlier, there's water in the fridge. Stuff that stays in that fridge tends to get forgotten about and stay there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The bottled water that's in there was there from last year's birthday party.
Oh, wow.
So it's almost a
water
year
doesn't
old.
spoil.
No, the plastic bottles do, but not the water, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it really perplexed me that, you go to the store, you get a bottle of water. You look at it, it's got an expiration date.
yeah. It is weird. But it's meant for the bottle, not so much the water.
Yeah, because the water has been sterilized. But the bottle will start to break down.
You got time. You got time.
You got at least a good couple of years. At least a good couple of years.
Yeah, a couple hundred.
Eh,
Depending on the bottle.
Actually, not that long, but
Really?
yeah, pick up a bottle of water and look at it on the back.
See, now I'm curious. I'll have to check. It's a bad product.
That's not bad.
Let's see here. Very curious now. Like, I know it'll have the expiration date, but I'm pretty sure the plastic will last well beyond.
Yes, I'm getting old.
Thus far, I do not need glasses.
Lucky you. I've actually needed glasses for quite some time. It just took me a while to get around to getting them. Stigmatism sucks, and so does dyslexia.
Bottles contain recycled PET plastic. The fuck
Made
does
of
that
recycled pets.
The fuck does that mean?
I don't know. Here. I saw the expiration date. It was in some white ink. There it is. Okay. Sell by August 28th, 25.
That's
So-
a sell-by date, not the expiration. But yeah, you got a couple of years before.
So we bought this for last year's birthday party, which would have been 23. So you get 2 years before the bottle starts to break down.
Interesting.
So, but wait a minute. Greta Thunberg told me plastic takes thousands of years to biodegrade. Al Gore, Nobel Peace Prize winner, told me it takes hundreds of years, if not thousands, for shopping bags to biodegrade. Somebody's not telling the whole story.
There was a chip company. I don't know if it was Lay's. I want to say it was Lay's. Oh, I want to say it was Lay's that created a biodegradable bag. And I thought that was genius. Because I bought some of these chips. And the bag was sturdy. It was nice. I expected it to be paper, actually.
Paper is biodegradable, yes.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, at least usually.
It was a different kind of composite. And I remember thinking, oh, this was a good idea. They should all be doing this. I mean, makes sense. I'm not about to let these chips sit on the shelf until the packaging biodegrades. Not to mention, if it sits in the shelf, it's not going to be exposed to the elements. It'll probably last a good while. Anyway, I haven't seen those bags anymore. What happened? They were a good idea. Was it too expensive to produce them? Is that the deal?
Yes.
I legitimately thought they were a fantastic idea. Yeah. Make shit out of that.
No. There's actually companies out there that make the little, for like a 6-pack of soda or beer, the plastic rings. There are companies that make those that are biodegradable and edible.
I remember that. Yes.
They are out there, but they are more costly than the disposable plastic.
I do make it a point that whenever I do get something, the plastic rings, I do stop and actually cut. And that was entirely because someone posted a picture of a turtle with the ring around it. And it had grown with that ring around it.
Yeah, they can't get them off.
He couldn't get it off, yeah. And I felt guilty. That's all it took. It wasn't someone trying to push a narrative.
How dare you?
No, it wasn't someone with any kind of political message. It was literally some random person that said, "Dude, look what I found. Look at this. That's messed up." That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
And that's all it took.
Yeah.
That got the message across. It wasn't the whole bleeding heart, like, this is what happens. It wasn't any of that. It was just some random person that posted a picture, and I felt guilty about it because I would just throw them out.
Yeah.
It was these Gatorade rings that I just throw out. And then that was enough. After that day, I like turtles. I've always liked turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I grew up with that.
What's that kid's name? Is Stubbs the Zombie or something like that? I like turtles.
And you know what? Seeing that poor turtle disfigured because of this ring was enough for me to be like, never again. I will clip my rings. And I did, and I have. But that, obviously, that's not enough. That's not enough to make any kind of change. The real change would have to come from the big companies. Biodegradable bags.
Yes, but that doesn't keep their quarterly earnings reports up.
I know.
You gotta remember, when you're dealing with corporations, we're
not dealing with real men.
We're not dealing with humans. You're dealing with psychopaths who are worried about one thing.
Scum.
They're worried about actually two things. Quarterly earnings reports and stock price.
Yep, that's true.
Because as long as those things are doing well, they get paid. So whatever it takes to keep those things up, to keep those things happy, to keep the investors happy, that's whatever it takes. You got to keep those earnings. If they got to lay off thousands of people, they will do it. If they got to make their packages out of stuff that is dangerous, they don't care.
It's scummy.
It is scummy. When you're dealing with the board of directors, you're not dealing with humans. You're dealing with psychopaths. People who smell of overpriced, they reek of overpriced cologne and psychopathy.
This is true.
That is what happens in a board of directors rooms.
By the way, that's not an exaggeration. They are at a level of psychopathy. They are psychos. You got to have the same mentality, the same level of thinking to run a corporation, to run a big company.
Yes.
You cannot have a single shred of sympathy or humanity. That gets in the way.
It gets in the way. It gets in the way. It costs money. It slows down process times. And, well, you can. It's just that's the exception and not the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, we complain about corporations at work a lot. It's one of Steven's favorite things. That and the Habsburgs.
Yes. All right. Sympathy and humanity. Those
That was
are
a hard one for me.
I'm
I'm kind of a bastard.
Yes. All right. So having, did you just mute us?
No, I just realized I left channels 3 and 4 open, and sometimes they make staticky noises.
Oh.
Like, oh crap! There's probably been staticky noises in the background the last hour and a half.
Oh crap. All right. So having a certain level of sympathy. Having a certain level of sympathy, of mercy, even.
Okay, that's how I did for you.
That is a good staple of being a man. You know, cruelty does not make a man. Absolutely not. Cruelty is easy. Anger is easy. Hate